Bandai just released a new update on the block rotation system that's coming out next year, April 1st, 2026. It's a little bit confusing, so here's everything you need to know and to be aware of. So, while it's meant to keep the game fresh and beginner friendly, it really raises some real concerns, especially for casual players. So, let's break it all down. First of all, what are these block icons? So, going forward, every card will have a tiny block icon on the bottom right. These icons tell you which generation, technically, of the game that this card belongs to. Think of it as set rotations in Magic or Pokemon. Now, with this new block rotation, there are going to be two formats moving forward. The first one here is going to be the standard format. This is going to be the main competitive format starting from April 2026. Only cards from block 2 to 5 will be legal. Everything else rotates out, but there are some exceptions, which is the new update that they talked about today. Then the other format will be called the extra format. This is the catch-all format. You can use cards from any block, even from block 1. It's a good home for older decks, but Bandai hasn't really clarified how much support this format will get yet, and that's a bit concerning. They might want to phase it out because technically they don't get a lot of money from these older sets. They want to push out newer and newer sets, and that's just kind of how everything is these days with Magic and Pokemon. So here are some of my thoughts here. I think this will definitely be really hard to track. Honestly, for casual players, this could be a headache. You'll need to keep up with rotation news, which cards are reclassified, which versions are legal, and whether or not your deck is still valid in standard. You're going to have to be keeping up with the webpage, looking at Discord, maybe keeping up on X or Threads. There's lots of ways to do it, and there's lots of room for mistranslations and or just misinformation to really mess with people. So unless Bandai integrates rotation info clearly on their website, or deck builders can do it automatically, I think this will definitely confuse a lot of returning casual players, which might technically gatekeep them a little bit. And hey, this is confusing me even a little bit. Alright, so what about the reprints and older versions? Well, Bandai says that future reprints will have updated block icons. So a reprint of an older card might show block 4, making it legal in standard again. But here's the thing. What about the older printings of the same card? Are they legal if the reprint is? The official wording isn't super clear yet, but based on how most games do it, yes, the older versions should be legal if they match the card text exactly, but we need an official confirmation on this, though it would be really weird if it wasn't. Alright, so the new thing that they're adding here are super parallel cards in relations to these block rotations. So these are the super ultra rare alternate art versions of existing cards. The update says that they'll be marked now with reprints with a special X block icon going forward, which means they're always going to be legal in standard. But here's a question I had. Are the normal versions legal forever too, just like with the other one? Based on what Bandai said, only the super parallels or X marks reprints get that permanent legality. Regular versions follow standard block rotation rules. So maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, what you take out of this. Will only the X ones be legal? Because that would be really weird, but they do want to, make people sell and sell. Another thing with these super parallel cards is if the game has a really, really long lifespan, and I'm saying like all the way into 2030 and beyond, every one of those old cards, it's going to be really hard to keep balancing around them with newer and newer rotation sets. Have they thought out that far in the future? It'll be really hard to say. Another thing that will really mess with power players and power users is that the deck building sites will need major updates. So the rotation completely changes the deck legality tracking. Sites like One Piece Card Game Dev or Limitless TCG will have to show block filters, rotation windows, and they have to handle the weird reprints and super parallel rules. So until those systems are updated, people are going to be left guessing if their deck is legal or not, and I think it's definitely going to be a really, really rough transition. So, as I said before, why are some of these certain older cards going to still be legal? Well, they are allowing a select list of older cards to be recategorized as Block 4, which keeps them in standard, and I believe this is absolutely a balanced decision. If they didn't do this, some colors or deck archetypes would basically die in April 2026. So, reclassifying staples like Brook, Curly to Dawn Red, and Kitten Killer really helps ease the transition into the new meta. So the big question is, will this kill the game? Well, let's be real, rotation always risks pushing people away. If you're a casual player and you suddenly find your whole deck is illegal, you might not want to keep up. So rotation forces players to buy new cards, and yeah, that can feel bad, but on the other hand, it helps keep the meta fresh and lowers the barrier for new players, so it's a sort of double-edged sword here. Will the extra format get real support? That's the big question. If Bandai supports extra format with events and pricing, it can ease the sting of rotation. But I feel like just most games, most TCGs, especially with Magic and Pokemon, it's a rough transition, as I said, but, after the game's going to be out for another 2 to 3 years, if, people are still buying cards, then it'll just become the normal. But it really does feel bad that after the first couple of years, a lot of cards just won't be used anymore. But if standard becomes the only format that matters, especially in Bandai's eyes, a lot of people might drop off, and who knows how the collector's market will be then. I'd love to see local stores and official Bandai events give extra format some real love. Now, we know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of doing some stuff like that, with the Time Wizard format, and I know just recently, if you're watching this very recently, they've had a lot of changes with their Time Wizard format, making sure that some of those cards are actually updated. It's a little weird, but anyway, here's my final takeaway, right? So starting April 2026, you'll need to build standard decks using cards from block 2 to 5, which will be out by then, plus select reprints from block set 1 and super parallels that are always going to be permanently legal. It's a lot to understand, but this is a huge change, so absolutely try to stay updated, double check your deck legality, and maybe start prepping now, especially like buying cards now from set 1 that are going to be shooting up in price, especially a lot of the ones shown on the website, like the Curly to Dawn, the Buggy from OPO3, and maybe even stuff like Kurita Coliseum. Now that's a super common, I'm pretty sure, but Brook from STO1, stuff like that. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this. It was an interesting update, and I think after reading it a lot more and summarizing it more, it becomes a little bit more clear. So I hope this helped you out pretty much with what's new and what to look for. So thanks for watching, and I'll leave you guys with the rest of this duel. So thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Such a sheet. Single. Three for Sengoku.
Well, we keep going.
Strong one card. Look at 5 for 2 navies. Come on.
Gigi.
Oh hell. Oh my god. The blue goes off. Draw a card. Let's do 5 at your face.
All right. Somebody's my. Cool. 1,000.
Wait. 8,000 at your face.
All right. Gonna go +2 to 9,000.
8,000 to your face.
I'll take that one. Okay.
Do 6. Red Rock. Red Rock to Kid. Then my turn.
I'll attack your leader for 7,000.
Uh, 8,000.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll attack your leader for 9,000.
No, Kuma. It's annoying.
I'll block.
Oh, this is active. A block.
Okay, I'll do 6 for Kuma. I'm gonna trash a card in order to gain heal again. I pass.
Or
I got more life than you. Let's go.
uh, 7,000 at your face.
I will take. Okay.
Mm. I think 9,000 at your face.
And you have all that down left?
Yeah.
I'll take. Okay.
9,000 at your face.
Okay, use my leader's ability. I'm gonna trash 1 card to go up to 2,000 plus first. And then I will match to 9 and then go up 1.
6.
Blocker.
Good.
Okay. Let's go 7,000 at your face.
Mm. I'll take that.
Okay, I get to heal. Draw 1. Okay. Then we're gonna use 7 for Big Mom. Now you choose heal or take a hit.
Yeah. Use that shooter.
All right. I'm gonna attack a leader for 7.
Nine now. Okay. Block.
Block. Attack a leader for 5.
7.
And you have 3 cards left.
Yeah.
Attack a leader for 5. +2. I use 2. Koseki Hori. Add this to my hand. I'm gonna replace it with this.
God damn it.
Go
It's
ahead.
annoying. Gonna heal yourself. Alright.
I lost. You have so many attackers.
7,000 to your. What do you do? I'm gonna go up right now. Let's do 9,000.
Even more?
And then I'm worried that you might have to
Put 8,000.
do 9,000. Yeah.
Crash 1. Heal 1 random.
Why is it in trash when they go up first? 10.
Didn't matter.
11. Let's do 11.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay,
11.
I'll use this to go up by 2, 7, 8, 9, dead.
Oh yeah.
Damn,
Oh,
so close.
damn. Cool.
All right, cool. GG's.
Yeah.